What's up, people? It's finally that time. You know, your girl over here, whose first name is Candace, is like trifling, and that's all I'm gonna say. So our show that we're supposed to do on Wednesday finally is happening on Friday because folks just couldn't get their act together. I mean, I was no help, because it was the holiday was rough, but here we are with 25 questions as usual. I already saw it on the cover, so I'm already knowing. This is the show where people write in advance. I read their questions on the air off the cuff because, see, there's this cover page after she does the questions. She sends this, so I don't see what's under it. I can only see the date and that there's 25 questions or, whatever number there is. So that's how we do the show. So it's always a surprise. So when we read the questions, just about as much, as much about it as I do. Okay. Because we're hearing it together for the first time. But with my 30 plus years of experience at this, I can usually provide a very witty and insightful and sometimes even intelligent answer. Sometimes it's intelligent. I don't know about all the time. What's up, folks? I'm glad you guys couldn't make it. All on the late freight and the different day and different time and all that old stuff. So let's get started with this because I know you have better, more fun things to do than look at me on a Friday night. Let's start with question number 1. Oh, see, first thing, there's a mistake. Some of it got the part where is this a man or a woman? That part is not even on here. Okay, this is a young lady, I'm guessing. Summary of the issue, not sure how to handle the fact that my friend is cheating. This one hits hard because I've been up close and personal in this couple's home, and I consider myself like their child. I admire the hell out of my friend, and her discipline, tenacity, and bravery have helped me get out of a dark place. She's expressed pre-existing doubts about a relationship, but the families and friends are all deeply involved and they live together, so it's often shoved to the side as they built so much together already. She was approached by this guy when I was with her, and she started off uninterested, but has increasingly let him wear her barrier down. He is persistent despite her initially telling him that she's taken and keeps asking for seemingly, quote, innocent hangouts. Per my advice, she's turned down every one of them, and from where we last left it, she refused to give him her contact information to avoid meeting outside of the gym. But a few days later, she contacted me to let me know that she's having dinner with him, and she told her partner that she'll be with me. Okay, see, no. That's a violation. She justifies that she's not doing anything physical with him, but I'm not even sure if she would tell me if she did. And this seems to delve into the realm of emotional cheating. I've expressed that I don't like the guy or trust him and told her to be careful and talk to her spouse to try to salvage a relationship, but it seems that she has little desire or faith in that getting anywhere. I've been on the receiving end of an untruthful/unfaithful partner, and it's been on my mind constantly. I can't sleep without feeling guilt-ridden. I don't want this to affect our friendship, as I've seen her get defensive about it when I've criticized it. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. You say you feel like they're your child, so the age information of the parties, I don't know if it got cut off. I don't know what happened, but it starts with the summary. So I don't know what age you're talking about, but you did say that you consider yourself like their child. I'm going to tell you right now, stay your ass in a child's place. Okay. You don't go telling grown people what you think. They didn't ask you. The only thing that you have the right to do, though, is tell her not to involve you in it. Now, you definitely had a right to do that. And I would definitely recommend that. And that's the way it should always be. She shouldn't have done that. She should have just made, I'm taking a class, I'm going to take in a solo movie. I mean, whatever she needed to tell a lie on, just involving herself. But like I say, she could say she was going with some work friends or something he can't really, verify or something. But, someone that she has a personal relationship with, that she mixed you in with her lie and her game, and that's just not cool. So, but you said that she's talked years and years about this relationship not really working out. So when a person does that, that means they're ripe for the picking. She's, I mean, it didn't have to be him. It could have been anybody. And she would have been, her attention would have turned there because what she got going on at home is not satisfactory. Now, you say that you don't like the guy or you don't trust him and to talk to her spouse to try to salvage a relationship. Now, don't you think if they've been together all these years that she's already done that probably 52 times? Right? You can't possibly think that I consider them like I'm like their child behind to be able to outthink people twice your age, right? Right? So you supposed to know more about it than they do now magically about their relationship. See, all in all here, I see you overly involved in something that doesn't involve you. A marriage is between two people. Guess what? Two people stood up there and said, I do, and they did not include you in their vows. So nothing that goes on in their marriage, how they handle it, how they fight, how they cheat on each other, nothing about it is your concern. You go visit them and then you get up and you take yourself home. That's what you do. So, but what you're doing, as people typically narcissistically do, is mix in what happened to them in somebody else's situation. So see, you're emotionally reacting to what happened to you and you're projecting it onto this situation with her and her spouse. For all you know, he's doing the same thing. You don't know. You don't know what they got going on. But you just all in your feelings about it. So I'm just reminding you that a marriage is two people, unless there's abuse, where somebody's getting their butt kicked or something that's like a crime, then nothing in that relationship concerns you. Stay out of it, sit your butt down. Like I said, you do need to check her about, bringing you into it and tell her that's not cool not to do that again. And you don't need to criticize it because you're the kid, remember? Stay in your kid envelope. Now let's move on to question number 2. Exactly, Devon. She need to stay in the kid. She talking about she considers them like her parents or some shit. Then you the kid. Do you think if my mother, father, okay, I guess in this case it would be the mother, was doing something like that, I would be all in my feelings about it? Because I know for a fact that my daddy was an asshole, so I'd probably be giving her a standing ovation. Like, good. I hope you find some. Because he was great. He was great for me as a father because he taught me a lot of stuff of basically what not to do about men and, all the stuff I teach you guys. I mean, it puts me in a very unique position to be able to do this kind of teaching that I do. And it came from him. And then my brothers and my uncles, secondarily. But if she had at any point decided that she didn't want to be married to him anymore, I would have supported her in that decision because I don't think he was a good husband. He was a decent enough dad, but I don't think he was a good husband. And I told him that too when I was older and when I was getting married. So he just said, well, nobody learned how to be married from your ass. You was just a hot mess. And he just laughed. But that was my daddy. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Portland, Oregon. Summary of issue: dating a guy with a child. I never dated 22 to 27. Yeah, you kind of young. I never dated someone with kids before. I'm 27, and most of my friends either are still single, married, or engaged, or with their boyfriend, girlfriend with a kid. I'm dating a 35-year-old male with a 2-year-old. So she's 27, he's 35. He has the child full time, and he has a verbal agreement with the child's mother, the ex, that he has to travel for work, so he will meet the ex to drop off the child and vice versa. But nothing is set in stone with a lawyer or a parenting plan. There was an instance when the ex was in town visiting the child and she attempted to make a pass at him. He made me aware and told me that he made it clear to her that he is in a new relationship. This made the ex upset. She said some things about me in which this woman has never met me. The next time she was in town, she showed up unexpectedly and unannounced to his house while I was there. She was wailing and putting her hands in my face. Her other children, not his, were there too, and she threatened to take him to court. It was messy. Later on, she called Child Protective Services from the state she's in on him. I have asked him to set boundaries with her, but the ex will not respond to any messages or communications in regard to the incident. Recently, she asked him to have the child for a family gathering. He shared with me that he's nervous about doing that, afraid that she will take the child and won't bring her back to him. I advise on legal consulting, but he is hesitant. I want to support him because I obviously care and value him and his kid, but I need him to be assertive. He says it has nothing to do with me. I understand it's between him and the ex, but when his emotions and energy is down and it comes back to our relationship, well, then yes, it directly affects me as well. Deb, do I just continue to be supportive or help or help him get the courage it takes to protect himself from the ex if she does try to take away the kid? Nope. Again, it's a relationship that don't have nothing to do with you. Let me go back and start from the beginning. Okay, you never date anybody with kids before you're 27. He's 35. The kid is 2. The mother evidently lives in another state. Now, what you advise him to go and seek legal services about that is correct, because once, with nothing nothing in writing, once she takes that child across state lines, then that state's jurisdiction will hold in a court, and she can basically have custody if she decides to. Now it's going to be, I mean, I'm sure he has proof that he's, I mean, the baby's in daycare or whatever. I mean, he has proof that he was the full-time custodial parent, doctor visits, the neighbors. I mean, he can have proof that, she never had the kid except for visitation. However, he's not listening to you. Okay. Now, this is where I draw the line. First, some cow gonna come in and be putting her hands in my face. We don't do that here. She would get told one time, bitch, get your hands out my face before I chop them off. And you won't be able to put them nowhere because you won't have them anymore. So you make that decision. So we're not doing that stupid stuff here. Okay. Now I don't care what you do with him. That's y'all's red wagon. But once you start doing something to me, so see, now I have the right to defend myself, and I'm gonna go big on it. Okay. I'm gonna like overshadow whatever you did. They say excessive force, that will be me. So she would have got that notice, and then I would have got up and left because Deb doesn't like drama. I mean, I'm going to defend myself, but I'm not going to stay there for it to continue. I will shut it down, and then I will leave because it's not my house. It's not my kid. It's not my relationship. It was not my ex-husband. It's not my ex-wife. None of that is anything to do with me. So, you want to stay around and support him and be all up in this mix and everything, but, seriously, girlfriend, your best bet at 27 years old is to deuce out, like, boop, and be out. Because that is just way too much drama. And he's not even like, the girl got her hands in your face. What did he do while all that was going on? What did he do? What did he say to her? He just let it happen? You see, he's a milquetoast, weak-ass motherfucker. So what is it that you... I mean, he don't want to do nothing. Is he scared of this woman? Does she have something on him or something? Or he's just really scared of her taking the kid, which she can do anytime when she comes to visit. Once she gets on that plane or train or whatever, she gets on driving and she goes across state lines. I mean, he loses his power. That's how the law works when you don't have anything in writing. But he doesn't want to do it. So that means that, he likes this suffering. That's the way I would view it. He likes to be, worried, and he likes the drama. So I would let him continue to do that. He can't triangulate them if not really. Not really. Now it depends because, like I said, we don't know what his response was when the woman put her hands in the face. That's the big question. The big unanswered question there. But this thing talking about she made a pass and all that kind of stuff. She was supposed to cuss him out. I said, I don't give a fuck. What you telling me that bullshit for, the gossipy bitch? I don't want to hear. I don't care what she did. Let me tell you about the dudes that made a pass at me. Okay. So anyway, that's the gist of it. Just deuce out on the situation. You're not in it that long. You don't really have that much invested. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be a very emotionally healthy situation for you to be in. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Canada. And her nationality, she says she's Middle Eastern. The male is 22 to 27. Summer issue. How many men should you have nook with before you get married? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Dear Deb, I grew up in a very, and she put that in caps, conservative family that stressed the importance of virginity and made me scared of nook and intimacy growing up. As a result, I'm a 26-year-old V. I'm no longer a Muslim now, and I've also come to realize marrying the first man I'm intimate with could backfire severely if we don't work out. My question is there a minimum amount of men that I should have nook with before I settle down and get married? If this is a stupid question, it's because I'm severely inexperienced. I haven't even kissed a man. Should I try to have it with at least 3 different men before getting married? Thank you for being blunt and direct for the slow learners like me. Well, what do y'all say? Let's do a poll right quick. How many? Put your number that you think she should have before she gets married. What you gonna say? It's real interesting because Vanna sent me this article. I think it was in the New York Times. Some newspaper about about this guy who was on TikTok, and he called in a male advice columnist saying that his girlfriend revealed she's 25 years old and she already had 61 or 62 different lovers. And so the guy was like all wrecked about it. And he's like, oh, what should I do? That's just too many. And so the host of the little show told him that he should dump her because, she was busy and all this old stuff here. And I agreed he should dump her, but not because of that, but because she was stupid. Okay. What dummy? And the key part was that he didn't ask her. She volunteered this information. So why would a woman do that? I thought about that. I pondered that. I was like, she's doing that for one of 3 reasons. Why she telling him that? A, because his dang-a-lang ain't shit, and she want him to know she knows it ain't shit because she's had way better several different times. Okay, it could be that. Number 2, because it was a test, and she wanted to see how he was going to respond, and if he was going to fall to pieces or just laugh and say, well, mine is 3 times that much, so you got a lot of catching up to do, or something like that. Or the third option is that she did it because she knows he's a judgmental, insecure fool and that he would want to break up with her. And that's how she could get out of the relationship with somebody she didn't really like after all, without it having to be her fault, without her having to do the dirty work. Hey, Shay. Sorry about this week, girl. We changed the show twice. Sorry about that. I was thinking about Shay. I was like, I don't know if she's going to be able to show up, but I was committed to carrying on. Yeah, it's got to be one of them 3 things, right? That for a woman to volunteer. I didn't say, because he didn't ask her. She volunteered. So I nailed it down to one of them 3 reasons. I'm sure I'm right. So young lady, okay, they're putting their answers in the chat. So be sure to, look on the chat stream and see what numbers that they're going to put. I'm going to say, I think a minimum of 4. And you should also go for different types of men. Like you're Middle Eastern. You should do a white guy. You should do a black guy. You should do an Indian guy. And you should do, I don't know, like somebody you might not normally, like a musician or some, like a bad boy. Somebody like your parents told you not to fuck with. You should do that. Get out your system. All women have to do that. We all do that. We all date somebody that we shouldn't be with, and we know we shouldn't be with them. We do it anyway because of the thrill. You got to get it out your system before you get married, or you'll forever be, thinking about it. Okay, so that's why I say it's got to be a minimum of 4. Now, you might decide that that's still not enough. And then you could go for up to, 10, 12. Who cares? Who's going to count? I know I wasn't, but I want to make sure. But, the man I ultimately, he had been married before, so he had his skills down. We didn't have to worry about that with him. But, some of the guys, like the single guys and then the real young, they don't really have any skills yet. They don't really know what they're doing. So for you, I would recommend try to go for somebody who's, a little older, who's in good shape, because then they'll have stamina. You don't want somebody who's like a gamer and, got that bad posture, no abs and no back, and his legs look like toothpicks. You don't want to waste your time with that because he's not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to, it's not going to work. Okay. Just trust me. I'm trying to be delicate here, but I think you get the gist of it. So that would be my suggestion. Get it all out of your system. Every fantasy that you had, that whatever, you do what you want to do. It's your body. You do it and enjoy it. And then you marry somebody and you'll have, and this is, I wrote about this, I think. I wrote about this somewhere in an article on survivingdating.com, I think it is. I talked about women's sexuality. The part that's so unbelievable is parents do this, right? And I mean, I know they're doing it because they, it's through part of religion and they think this is a good thing to do. And then socially, it's like it was frowned upon for women to have too much nook because then they start putting all kind of labels on you and men get afraid of you and all this kind of stuff. However, I'm going to say this. They put women in a very weird position. Okay, so all your life you're told, no, don't, keep your legs closed, keep your dress down, all these standard things, right? And, only bad, nasty girls do this. Don't be fast like so-and-so. You get all these negative messages concerning your body and anything physical that involves the opposite sex or the same sex these days. Okay, so it's all these negative messages of not to do it, right? It's wrong, it's bad, it's sinful, you'll trollop, you're this, okay, everything is bad. But suddenly, here you are, now you're with a man. Sometimes, like in your situation, in your country, rather, in your culture, they might pick the man for you, right? So it's an arranged marriage. And then suddenly now, you get married, right? You go from your parents' house to dude's house. You never dated nobody before. And now they expect you to be freak of the week. They expect you to know exactly what to do, how to do it, how to do all the tricks that's in Cosmo and all the other books, the Kama Sutra, everything. They want you to know all of that. Turn the dude out, have him sucking his thumb and crying like a baby, but you've been told off for 18, 25, 30 years, whatever, that this stuff is negative and bad. I just never could understand that, how, this leap in logic that society puts on women. The men will then, if you good at it, right, then they complain. Well, now I have to go find me somebody else. I have to cheat on you because you're no good in bed, right? But you were doing everything they told you to do so that you would be all pristine and pure and wonderful when he decided to marry you. But now it's a problem because you haven't had any experience. You don't have any practice. You don't know what you're doing. So now he want to cheat on you and talk bad about you because you don't know what you're doing. So you see what I mean, ladies? How they put you in this thing so that nothing that, like I say, they always set women up so that nothing we do is right. Everything we do is wrong. There's a complaint about everything. So in my mind, do what the fuck you want to do, the way you want to do it, and as much as you want to do it. And then give everybody the double middle finger if they complain about it. And then at least that way, if they complain and try to judge you and put labels on you, you will have made yourself happy. So it won't bother you. That's my advice. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and read because I could tell I'm missing some interesting juice over here. Some tea like a motherfucker. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Norwich, Norfolk in the UK. So I have an issue. My partner reacts so badly to criticism, he literally can't take anything from me, from his job. It's all starting to become a real problem. Sometimes it's not even a criticism, and he responds very angrily. If I say something like him not doing enough around the house, he will respond with, well, I'm not going to do anything at all then. He won't talk anything through so we can come to an agreement. He is quite giving when it comes to money, but then he will withdraw it if he feels criticized about anything. Surely in relationships, sometimes you have disagreements and you need to work it out. I can't disagree with anything or have an opinion about anything without worrying that he'll fly off the handle because for some reason he feels threatened. Well, you know what? I would make him feel like that every day till he got used to it. See, that's the problem. You need to do aversion therapy. So when there's something that they don't like, right, you just inundate them with it. You drown them in it. You just overdose them on it. So you need to criticize him 24 hours a day, just about everything. Oh, God, you walk too loud. Your feet are so goddamn big and they stink. When do you don't ever bathe enough? What's wrong with you? Why are you breathing so loud? Whatever you can think of, criticize him about it. You try to wash the dishes, but you don't even do that right. Do you do anything right at your job? I would break him down. I would criticize him about everything. Your stroke game is off. You look funny. You dress funny. Why don't you have a six pack? Just net it down the list of every single thing I can think of, the criticism. Then I'll go back on the list and start all over again. You know why you have to do that? See, you're his wife and you're very sensitive to his anger and stuff. I would not give a fuck because your anger is not going to be more important than mine. Okay. And if I'm telling you some stuff that you doing or saying that's pissing me off, and you going to respond like this and shut down and stonewall and all this kind of stuff, I'm ready to overdose you on attitude. That's what's ready to happen. You're going to be sorry that you acted like that. And the next time something like that happens, you're going to think about it again and be like, well, maybe I should just communicate because I'm not trying to have my feelings hurt like that. That's what you have to do as a woman. When they get like that, you hurt their feelings. Whatever they don't like, you do it 150% of the time so that he gets used to it and then it doesn't bother him anymore. Psychologists call it aversion therapy, and I just call it Deb being an asshole. But it's the same thing. Okay. So this situation right here, because you play along with it, it continues. When you tell him something and he reacts angry, you react even more angry. So his angry is here, you go here. He starts talking, you pick up something and fling it at him. He says something that you don't like, you cuss his ass out. You little bitch. Every time I try to talk to you about something, you want to shut down and act a fool and throw a tantrum and say, what kind of marriage is this anyway? You're the worst husband I ever met in my life. And I would just talk about him. Just do everything that you want to do. Okay. And then after a couple of months of that, in a couple of weeks, you'll either be divorced and be able to get somebody who's got some damn sense, or he will stop acting like this because it doesn't get him what he wants, which is your silence and you acquiescing to his demands. I don't know about it, Mo, but I just know what I'm not, it's just like you just get to this point in life where you just know what you're not going to take. And this kind of stuff, like, I just do it all the time. I send my clients some vicious emails too. I'm sure they don't like it, but do what you're supposed to do, and then we won't have this problem. That's the way I feel about it. And that's how I raised my daughter. Only thing, I didn't have a whole bunch of rules for her. I'm not like, I'm not like that. But, certain things, you're going to clean up your room once a week. Which day you pick, I don't care. You know what I mean? So I'm not like a rule, because I don't like a whole bunch of rules. So, but we're not going to live in a pigsty either. So, you got to be a balance here. And then you're going to, and I told her, as far as school goes, don't have them people call me. Now, what you can do up until that happens, that's for you to judge and figure out. But once that phone rings and that school is calling me and telling me that I need to come up there because we need to have a parent-teacher conference about something that you did, your ass is mine. Okay. And that's what I told her. So that's, and it was very simple. But believe it or not, she's still fucked up. Children. Okay, let's move on. Question number 5, enough of my side stories. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from Boston. She says she's white and a Gemini. Oh, see, sometimes people fill out the whole thing. All those things are optional. The male in question is also 18 to 21. He's an Aquarius and he's also Caucasian. Okay, summary of issue. Help. He asked me out, but now he started being cold and ignores me in person. We are both 20 and we have the same class in college. The professor assigned a project and we got grouped together. And now we talk in class and via text. I started walking out of class with him and we would walk together for a while. He asked me to go out. We went and it was a bit weird. He didn't know where we should go. And after about an hour, He said he's going to the bar with his friends later. We got Chipotle, and I'm almost certain I misread the situation as a date because he only paid for himself. She put a question mark. His text said, want to go out this day specifically. He was trying to get to know me over text more personally before this meeting. But even then, his texts were few and slow to reply back. Eventually, we left, and he started the conversation again, asking me stuff. But when I replied to his question, he said, what the hell are you talking about, lol? As if he didn't ask me something. I didn't reply, but he started liking my post and texting me again a question. When I replied, he didn't answer for a long time and then said, lol. In class, I came up to him to say hi. Okay, you put way too much detail, young lady. He smirked and mumbled something, then walked away. He sat next to other girls with eye glance, and he smirked again. Okay, he's stupid. The semester's not over yet, but I can't bear to be in this anymore. This one girl he sat next to walked out of class and turned around to give me a long stare. I'm scared that he said something about me. Did I do something wrong? And why is he acting like this? Yes, you did something wrong. You went out with him. Let me tell you, there's the rule here, and you need to know it right now. Engrave these words on your forehead. Don't shit where you eat or live. Okay, now, you shit where you eat, live, or work. Okay, now, you're in school, right? That's kind of like your work. And it's like it's a big campus, so there's plenty of people there that you could go out with. But what are you going to do? You're going to go out with not only with somebody who's in your class, but in your same work group. No, vetoed. Never do that. That's too close. You lose your perspective and your neutrality in a situation like that. And plus, with this, when it goes sideways, then it impacts your schoolwork and possibly your grade. Do you understand where I'm coming with this? You separate work from personal life. You separate where you live from your personal life, and you separate people in your classes and stuff that you need to depend on for your future from your personal life. You understand me? This is a solid rule that you need to follow starting today for the rest of your life. Okay? Those three things: where you live, don't never date nobody that like in your complex, a neighbor down the street, nothing like that. No, you want the motherfuckers to be miles away, preferably other countries, but I mean, at least miles. You don't want to date anybody on your job. It's going to be a bunch of shit, gossip, all kind of just drama, okay? And you don't want to date anybody, like I said, at school. Yeah, girl, this is just such a horrible, horrible decision, and I'm really surprised that your parents didn't teach you that. But I hope young ladies listening, take this to heart, because you gonna get men, on your jobs and stuff. They gonna be trying to get at you. Half of them gonna be married or living with somebody, but that's beside the point, because you're gonna have a rule that you don't care what they're doing, and you don't care if they're single, and you don't care how fine they are or anything, because long as you work together, you're not gonna mess with them. Okay. If you go out to lunch with them or something like for drinks and stuff, it's going to be a group of coworkers. It's not just going to be the two of you. And if it dwindles down, people start leaving and stuff. By the time, okay, like say a group of 12 goes out together, by the time it's down to like half that size, you're making your way out. Okay, you're not going to be trying to stay till be the last people there and all so shit here. You're going, by the time 6 people are on their way out the door, your little ass is going to get up and leave with them. Okay, ain't no man dropping you home, dropping you off. You're going to take an Uber, Lyft, or have your own car. Or one of your friends or family pick you up. These are the kind of things that cause problems for women when they just don't be thinking. Okay? Plus all the standard rules about, getting drunk and leaving your drink sitting there somewhere where you go dance to the bathroom or something like that. You're going to follow those standard policies that I tell women about nightclubs and stuff all the time. Oh, Tay is back with a tip. Thanks, Tay. So, this is important, though, because this could save your butt for your career and stuff. It really could. Question number 6. This is a female in the 28 to 30. It's going to take me forever to get through 25 questions because I keep talking. She's 28 to 34. She's Caucasian in the UK. Summary issue, his debt. That's all it says. I've been my partner for several years. We live apart and totally financially separate. I love him and we get on well, no plans to live together, etc., as we both divorced with children. He has had some financial issues over the years, usually related to high maintenance payments and an acrimonious divorce, along with financially irresponsible ex. A couple of years ago, I advised him about money issues. I'm quite good with money and financially stable. He dismissed and ignored my concerns. Today, he revealed that he's got big debt problems and basically bankrupt. I have been kind about it, but it was also a bit startling, and I did get quite cross because I'd warned him that this would happen. The next part I'm a little worried about too. I can understand he's upset and panicking, perhaps that I'll leave or give up on him. But he is declaring a lot of love and suggesting he'd like to live with and marry me. Yeah, so he can get his hands on your money and what you got going on. Of course, I told him that he needs to sort his legal and debt position before I'd even consider that kind of commitment. I don't know if he's just panicking or whether I'm being seen as a solution, though. You definitely being seen as a solution. Don't you think the timing of that is rather suspect? I mean, you didn't put that together. Ray Charles could see that shit. Okay. That's not rocket science right there. I don't know what to do. It is sad to see him suffering, but obviously I can't subsidize him and his ex. I have myself and my children who I work and provide for. Any thoughts? Yeah, just tell him to get his shit together and make sure that you don't invest any more money in that relationship or him than you have always been doing. Okay, and keep your spending exactly the same. You're not going to help him. You're not going to offer to help him. You're not going to be covering anything. You're not going to support him except with words, which you really can't do because when you tell him stuff, he doesn't listen anyway. So this would be the time when you start with the I told you so's. And a lot of people be like, well, that's really mean because he's down and that's like kicking him when he's down. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And you know why? Because he deserves it. He knew every damn thing, right? He knew everything. He was going to do it his way. And now his way is all fucked up and he's trying to come and looking for you to save him and cushion the blow by moving into your house and being married to you so your money suddenly becomes half of his. See, don't fall for this. Don't even listen to that. Tell him absolutely. I mean, I'm glad you did, but you didn't tell him the way that you were supposed to tell him. Like, motherfucker, do I look crazy? That's what you were supposed to say. It's like, do I see an S on my chest and a cape flying in the wind? I mean, I'm not Superwoman. I'm not trying to save nobody. You better get the fuck out of here. The same way you were spending, you better go figure it out. Get you another job, get two. Whatever you're going to do, you make the magic happen. It's not my problem. That's what he would have got from me. Yeah, you don't be helping a man. Don't help them. If you help them, then they never rise up by themselves. They'll listen to my video called Never Help a Man. It's only 7 minutes long, but it'll make it real clear to you why that is folly. And we women who think, oh, I'm helping him. We're going to have a future. And then they always get left behind. Oh, you did? You will get it soon. I've been busy, Renee. I will go online and do, because I saw a couple of people had registered and I forgot to go and approve the things. I was screening them because I want to make sure no knuckleheads sign up. So I took it off of automatic registration and put it on manual. So that's what we're talking about. Let me just put this up. What we're talking about, everybody, is this this webinar that's coming up at the end of the month. It's just $19, and that's what she was saying, that she cashed after her fee. But this is something that's really, really, as you see, just listening to these letters tonight. I mean, every week it's like this. These women don't know how to tell these men no. And I mean, and not just in relationships. I mean, like they're relative, they're even their own kids, they don't say no to. They get chumped at work, they get chumped in their friendships, they get chumped in their dating relationships because they just sit there and they never speak up and they never say no. They don't have any boundaries. It's terrible, and I can't stand it. So I want to do this. This is not going to be on the YouTube channel. If you miss this live webinar, you will just miss the information because I'm not going to put it anywhere else. That's not fair to the people who paid the money. So it's going to be it's an exclusive event, an exclusive content that will be developed just for this event. It's not going to be anywhere else. Okay. Just so y'all know. So it's only $19. Make it a good Christmas present to yourself because it's on the 29th of December because I want you guys to go with your New Year resolutions into the 2024 with a new mindset. Okay. I want to try to give you some tools to make your character stronger when you're dealing with people in 2024. So that's why it's on December 29th. I had to make it before New Year's Eve, but so it's as close as I could get. All right. So let's move on to question number 7. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group. He's Asian from Santa Clara, California. The female in question is 28 to 34 as well, and she's white. Okay. Third issue, how do I deal with my partner who's great in many ways, but in one area falls short and it's causing me to feel depressed and resentful? This sounds like it's going to be long. I can tell when they make a long intro, he's so emotional. He's just got a lot. Oh, yeah, we're going to be skimming over this. I'm 34. I've been with her. She's 28 for a year. Her good qualities include that she is thoughtful, kind, sweet, funny, very attractive. You put that in caps. Amorous, and the list goes on. The thing that's causing me issues is that she's unreliable in commitments. Okay, so you trying to have a committed relationship with somebody who's flaky and unreliable in commitments. What are you smoking, sir? You stuck on the fact that she looks good and she's screwing you. That's what your problem is. I can already tell. I'm still gonna read all this novel you wrote, but I can already tell that's what the problem is. Because if she's doing anything that's unreliable in commitments, that means that she's standing you up. She's making promises she's not keeping, which is disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. And you've taken it, and you've been taking it you say you've been with her for a year. So it's not new. Okay. But let's go on and see what you have to say. I think I'm already right just from what I read. I regularly make time for her and the things she wants over the course of our relationship. She has bailed on me probably 20, if not more times. Now, see, you need to go to the webinar. Like follows: canceling a dinner twice that I'm paying for at a restaurant to celebrate my promotion. This was after I did what she wanted, which was visit her parents, and moved it to a different day so she can attend an event with her friends. What'd you do that for? Letting me take a $40 Uber home after the train got canceled because she didn't want to give me a ride at 8 p.m. because she had to go work at 8 a.m. the next day, even though I have work at 6. Refused to communicate why she wouldn't stay at my house for months on end. Refused to put me on Instagram while we were on a trip after 7 months together because she was worried about family due to a traumatic experience in a previous relationship that she couldn't explain. I was paying for the entire trip. It was a few grand, and was frustrated that she would post the trip pictures without me in them. This one's immature, but fuck it, man. After 7 months, it annoyed the heck out of me, feeling like I'm good enough to spend money, but not show off. Forcing me to go dancing right after I got back from an overseas trip, after she wouldn't do what I wanted, which was go see a movie because she wanted me to rest after a long trip. How do you rest at a dance club? After another long trip, when I got home after a 6-hour flight and 4 hours of sleep, she refused to see me the next day, saying she wanted to spend the night with her sister, who she lives with. So blah, blah, blah. He goes on. So basically what he says, the depression started kicking in after the second trip. And the final kicker was this week. I was going to take her out for a movie and pottery the next day. She asked me to stay the night, and I told her I couldn't because I had to be up early, and asked her to stay over at my place instead. She refused, saying that she was too tired. I blew up and canceled the plan, saying how frustrated I was that it felt like I always did things for her, and the little I asked in return wasn't met. I feel like I'm crazy because she does show up for terms of affection, kindness, gentleness, etc. I'm just trying to figure out how to let this stuff go. I've communicated time and time again that her showing up for me like this is important, but it just keeps happening. I keep trying to let it go, but now I'm depressed and don't want to be around her. You're depressed because you realize you're stupid. That's what that is. You are stupid. You're stupid, and you don't have no testosterone in your whole body. What kind of man accepts this kind of bullshit from anybody? And you let her stand you up 20 times, she would have got one time. There wouldn't have been time 2, 3, 4, and 19 and 20. See, you, sir, don't, and then this thing about the Instagram, you paying for this trip and she's not putting you in the pictures. Don't you understand why? She's dating somebody else. There's another man in her life that she doesn't want him to know about you. I suspect that sometimes when she's standing you up, it's because she has to go and do something with him. That would be about right. So what I'm going to tell you, you say you don't want to talk to her. Good. I want you to go on your phone after you hear my response to this, and I want you to block her number. I want you to go on your email, and I want you to direct her email as spam. I want you to go on your social media accounts, and I want you to change everything to single, and I want you to block her and all of her friends and family. That's what I want you to do. And then I want you to find you a woman with some sense. Now, you down there in Santa Clara, that means you in the tech industry, you making some bank. That's how you can bankroll thousands and thousands of dollars worth of trips, and she just gets to go on the trip and don't have to pay no money. So you could find yourself so many different women, and you're at a good age where you can go a little older, pretty much a lot younger, and women will be interested in you as long as you don't, what's this looking like in the body? What's that looking like? You didn't mention your attractiveness; you just talked about hers. So that's what I'm going to tell you to do, and work on your self-esteem. I know the Asian culture is very what's the word I'm gonna say? Mm, in the culture, it's not, unless they're like, some like general or king or somebody. The general culture is very calm, low key. Politeness is emphasized, not hurting people's feelings, not being loud, not being confrontational, all these kinds of things. It's part of your culture. That's how you grew up, and that's how, that's fine. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that per se. But when you meet somebody who doesn't operate with those rules and who basically just disrespecting you, because from her point of view, your cultural training to be this way and this polite and not speak up and not say no and all this kind of stuff is something to use to her advantage. So I'm telling you, I'm begging you to let that go, become just like a Chinese nigger and cuss her bitch ass out, and then tell her that you're done, and then go about doing all the stuff I told you, blocking her and all that stuff. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do, because she ain't shit. I just never heard of nobody treating somebody like that. And you stay with her, you lost your mind. I don't know. He said I told you he put in caps, very attractive. So he's feeling like, he got him what they call it, a trophy girlfriend. That's what he's looking at. And she probably screws him good. Sound like, she know what she doing. This is just sad. Question number 8. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Edmonton, Canada. Summary of issue: mother-in-law. Oh, God. My mother-in-law has turned strange since the birth of our baby, who's now 5 months old. She went from being obsessed with the baby, turning up unannounced, almost demanding to see the baby whenever she pleased, acting like a guest, overstaying her welcome on many occasions. All she wanted to do was cuddle the baby, and when I was so ill recovering and husband was knackered looking after me, we had to say that she had to limit her visits and text us ahead. She went mad, cried, sobbed, and begged us, saying that she was lonely and had to go on antidepressants and isn't sleeping. Was quite concerning. Then she also brings drama to the house on the visits, so visits are stressful. We then told her that we're having a Christmas at home with the kids, but would just visit on Boxing Day and stay over. What is this Boxing Day? Is that like the day after Christmas or something? This wasn't good enough, and his mom and his sister cried and sent texts saying that we were selfish and bombarded us with long messages saying that they don't understand. It's been such strange behavior, so we had to limit their contact and step back as we are finding life with a newborn difficult. They have completely ignored my other child, which only made reference to the baby, which has upset my husband just as much. He treats my first child as his own, and they used to as well. But now she's calling my husband brother and crying, and he's messaging to say so, saying that she misses the baby. My husband is saying that he wants to cut off all contact because he's had enough. He says it brings back childhood trauma and the fact that she wraps her other daughter in cotton wool and favors them over him. She's done it since he was a child, and he says he doesn't want her around the baby when she's like that. What's my part in all this, Deb? I want to support him, and I agree her behavior is not good, but how do we move forward? We've tried talking, texting, face-to-face, and nothing works. Thanks for taking my letter, and I appreciate any advice. Well, what you have to do, she's putting her flying monkeys on you. So the husband's brother. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of person you are. Like, if you're the kind of person that likes to cuss people out, because they would all got cussed out by me. Like the bitch, go home. I just had a baby. I'm sick. I'm trying to recover. And my husband's worn out from taking care of a newborn baby and the other kid and me. And you want to sit up here like your ass is Queen Mary and not help with do no dishes or vacuum or do something with the kids. You don't want to do nothing but sit there and hold the baby. Bitch, get out. Go home. Do something with yourself. Okay. And then I could have said later, oh, it was postpartum depression, knowing full well that my ass is like that 24/7, 365. No baby in sight. But that's what would have happened because I know me, but especially when I'm tired, that phrase hangry, that was invented for me. I turned into a fool. So I already know she would have got told, this brother gonna come calling. What you were supposed to do is when you pick up the phone and it's the brother and he starts whining about, say, you know what? You are a little bitch. Don't call me with some shit from your mama. Okay? Go grow up here, act like a grown-ass man instead of a 12-year-old and get the fuck off my phone. Don't you ever do no shit like this again. That's what you were supposed to tell him. So that he would have been scared to call you with anything, even to say Merry Christmas. He wouldn't want to call because he don't want no more of that. And then your husband, I'm on his team. When he said he wants to cut everybody off, that's probably the move that you're going to have to make. It would also be good if you guys, I don't know what your job situation is, if you guys could pack up and move a couple of 100 miles away from all of these people. That would be ideal. Okay. But, you have to have job transfers or whatever you're going to do there. Yeah, these adults, they just, what is wrong with these men these days? Because, like, as the son, okay, like, if this was my mother and she was acting like that and she called me saying, oh, I want you to call your brother upstairs, I'm absolutely not going to be doing no bullshit like that. You out your mind. I would have to tell my mother that no, that's not happening. And it's like, you want to start a bunch of shit and go over there when the people are tired, just had a baby, are sleeping and exhausted, and you want to sit up there with your legs crossed all day. You're not supposed to go in there if you're going to be over there helping with the house and with the other kids and stuff. But no, you just want to sit on your ass and cross your legs and hold the baby. Fuck that shit. So, mama, you created this problem. You deal with it. I got to go. I'm busy. And that would have been the end of that. So, that's what I mean, though. But it's like what these men these days, they don't put people in check at all. Their mothers, their girlfriends, they just let them walk all over them. It's just terrible. It's so disappointing. To think that I have more testosterone in me than most of these men these days. This is terrible. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Wolverhampton, West Midlands in the UK. The male is all same age group, 22 to 27, also Caucasian. So I'm having an issue. My boyfriend grabbed me by the throat. Okay. And he's still living? This just happened, so my brain is scattered. My boyfriend and I just got into an argument that escalated to him grabbing me by the throat and arms. He asked me to borrow my robe that I was wearing, and I said, no, we have 2 robes. And then he took my bowl piece from my bong and started walking away with it. I grabbed him by the hood of the robe and pulled him back to grab my bowl piece back. He went to the bathroom. When he came out, he said, I injured him. I said, I'm sorry, it hurts, but I don't think you're injured. He started calling me a hypocrite because I told him not to tell me I'm overacting about pain when he doesn't know how much pain I'm in. And that's a fair point, I guess. But I said, sorry for hurting him. That was not my intention. He kept going on and on about the situation. At this point, I stopped listening because he was going up octaves and getting more aggressive. I kept yelling at him to stop talking. I tried to grab my keys to leave and he blocked the door, screaming at me that I'm going to listen to him. I tried to push past him and he grabbed me by the throat and the arm to move me away from the door. I screamed for my roommate who came and opened the door, and I ran out and left. I'm currently sitting in our spare room, scared and unsure what to do. We've been together for over 1.5 years, and you're already living together? Is that what's going on here? This is the first time he's ever done something like this. But I know a lot of domestic violence survivors, and this is how it started. Is this the end of my relationship, or can it be a one-time thing? Okay, just a few words before you acknowledge that this is how the domestic violence stuff starts, and then you turn around and just like a domestic violence victim, ask if you should give him another chance because this is a one-time thing, and you've only been with him for 1.5 years and already living together with somebody that you obviously didn't really know. Don't you know that a slick guy can he can show you his representative for as much as 1 year, depending upon the situation, sometimes longer, as you see, until his certain buttons get pressed, and then that's when the fool that's been hiding under the sheep's clothing comes out. So you must have never pushed him like that before. And I don't mean push physically, I mean verbally. So he just lost it. But a man who has a tendency to do violent things will resort to violence. A man who does not have a tendency to do violent things will not resort to violence. He will probably leave, or he'll just start cussing you out or something, but he would not put his hands on you. So the fact that this guy, that was his go-to response is very telling. He's somebody who doesn't have control. These kind of men, to be around these kind of men is dangerous, especially if you have children. Because they just go off and they hurt things that are smaller and weaker than them, which tends to be women and children. So, you escaped with just probably a bruise or two, and you got your bowl back for your so valuable bond that you could have went and bought another one. I don't see what the big deal was there, why you had to go through all the conditions about a goddamn bong. But I would say that it's time for you to pack your stuff and get out. This is not a good thing, because then the next thing you're going to be is in a hospital. I'm still talking about, is this a one-time thing? Don't you think one time of getting choked is more than enough? That would be all it would take for me. I had a guy who twisted my arm one time, broke up on the spot. On the spot. It was over. And we got into a big fight. I ended up kicking him down some stairs. Because my arm was fucked up and my arm was hurting, so I couldn't really punch him. Because, so I'm right-handed. Couldn't really punch him, but I could use my feet. And he messed around, and I wrestled around with him and got him in front of me and stepped back and took a kick, kicked him right in the rib cage right here. And he went flying down the stairs. His mother was screaming like, "Oh, you done killed my baby." I'm like, "Your baby done fucked up my arm." So, yeah, I mean, if he's dead, oh well. Shouldn't have touched me. So after that, I left. I left him, left his mother's house. Never went back, never talked to him again, never, nothing. That's how I do things. You're not going to hurt me. Now, we could go back toe-to-toe with words for 2 weeks. I'm just going to take a nap here, and then I'll get up and we continue this. But, once you start putting your hands on me, all bets are off. Luckily, I didn't have if I had my gun with me, I probably would have shot him, and then I'd been in prison, and it's been all ugly. You guys would have never known me. It would have been all a big hot mess. But, things worked out the way they were supposed to. But yeah, girl, get out from this before something bad happens. Question number 10. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Jacksonville, Florida, in the U.S., and talking about another female also in the 28 to 34 age. Okay, I hope this is not something I'm thinking. Hold on, I need some water. I kicked him with my right foot. I'm right-handed and right-footed at it. Yep, I'll never forget that. It was scary, actually. I don't know what he was thinking he was going to do with my shoulder like that. That's probably why I have shoulder problems now that I think about it with that arm. Anyway, so she says, summer issues, should I take a break from my friend group? I've been apart from my friend group of 5 women for 10 years. They are all married with kids, and I'm the only single one with no children. I've started to feel bad about about not being married and not having kids since I turned 30 this year. We are all the same age. Girl, you ought to be on your knees thanking Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, the tooth fairy, Santa Claus, everybody. Everybody should get some big ups because you ain't married and don't have no kids and you're 30 years old. Oh my God. So the best years. You're about to enter the best years of your life from 30 to 45. Girl, do the damn thing. But let's see what's going on with you. Because as you can tell, I'm already in agreement that you should take a break from your friend group. But let's see what the real problem is. I feel like hanging out with my friends might be making it worse because I'm sensitive to certain comments and can't emotionally handle their complaining right now. Some examples of comments that have rubbed me the wrong way. One friend showed me some lingerie and said, this is for married people, even though she slept with her husband before marriage. When we were walking through that's one of those kind of, I was married and now kind of statements, but wrapped in lingerie. When we were walking through the mall, one of my friends thought some guys were good looking, and my other friend said She doesn't need to be looking at those guys because she's married. I need to be one looking at them because I'm single. You looking at Dusty's in a mall? What the fuck? One time we were out, a guy complimented me, and one of my friends said that was weird. Also said that I wanted kids one day, and my friend was telling me how hard it would be for me to take care of kids by myself, even though I never said that I wanted to be a single mother. You should have corrected her and told her that. Like, contraire, mon frere, I never said I was going to be a baby mama. I want to have kids with a husband, I would imagine. My friends also complain on a regular basis. One of my friends was complaining because her friend has more friends than she does. What? And you're 30 years old? Even though they both have double-digit friends. Also, a friend would complain about situations where a few things went wrong, but everything worked out in the end. They all complain about their husbands and kids. They all complain about things they can fix, but don't try to. When they ask me for advice and I try to help them, they don't listen. They always have been this way, but it's just I just can't handle it right now because I'm trying to work through my own issues. I don't ask them for anything or tell them about my issues because I am a people pleaser. I've always been there, emotional support, and always available to hang out and do what they wanted to do. But this year, I started saying no more often because I think they might be making me feel worse. These are the only friends I have, and I'm having a hard time trying to make any new ones. I don't know if I should tell them what I am going through and hope that they will be supportive because I've never done that before, and I'm scared to do it. When I hang out with them, it's just not enjoyable for me anymore, and I'm just trying to get through it because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Should I take a break from them so I can work on myself and get better so that I can be able to be a good friend to them? If so, how do I take a break from them without hurting their feelings? Girl, all you have to do is say, you know what? I realize, yeah, these are some silly cows. All you have, girl, I'm telling you, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, God, Mother Mary, all of them, everybody. Girl, just be thankful. Just like, I'm not even religious, but I'd be like, yes, yes, yes. But what you need to do is, this is going to be your excuse. You're going to be like, well, you know, it reminds me of the fact, you know, you guys always reminded me that I'm still single. So what I'm going to start doing is not hanging out with you guys who are married, because every time I hang out with you, I should be hanging out with single women so I could be, you know, putting myself out there and trying to meet some guys and stuff. I can't do that with a bunch of married women that don't want to be around single men. So that's your excuse right there. It's that built in is one that they're going to have to accept. Right? So every time that they tell you, let's go hang out, say, oh, no, I'm going out with my single friends. Or I have a date with a single guy. You're going to throw that single back in their face just like they throw that married back in yours. But that's your built-in excuse. And it's not going to hurt their feelings because it's true. I mean, if they get their feelings hurt, I don't know what to tell you. It's not about them. It's about you. But to me, that would be the easiest way to get out of this, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, in a way that's gracious and a way that's, you know, factual. And so you just start telling them that every opportunity where you don't want to be bothered with their stupid asses, which I should assume was going to be all. And you always have to remember this other thing too, right here. You have to understand this. Right. She's outgrown them. She's gone through that thing I told you the women go through around 27, 28, where they start reassessing their friendships. You're doing it a little late, but I mean, you are doing it, but you're a little behind. This is something that should have happened like 2 or 3 years ago. But you, so that you went into 30 with the slate already clean, not turn 30 and then have to do the cleanup. So like I said, you're a little behind, you know, the regular curve here. But still, this what you're going through is so common, it's standard, it's just it's like a transition period in a woman's life. Between the ages of 26 and 28 is when this happens. Everybody goes through it. So you're not alone there. It's just time to move on. But that's how you're going to do it. Then they're going to say, okay, well, when you get married, you know, you can come and hang out with us again. And you're going to say, yeah, sure. And then you're going to marry somebody. If you do decide to make that horrifying mistake, you're going to marry somebody that has a job 16 states away. And that's where you're going to live, away from their stupidity. Question number 11. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Southern California. Summary of issue. My mother is threatening, the S word, if I don't break up with my boyfriend. I am 30 and Indian and my boyfriend is white. We started dating over a year ago and are deeply in love and planning a future together. We've been living together for the last few months. Everyone in my family has come to accept and love him, except for my mother. I told her we were dating about 6 months into the relationship and she did not take it well. I thought things were improving with time, but this is not the case. They've deteriorated significantly, and I don't know what to do. We plan on proposing to each other soon, but my mom basically disowned me and said I have destroyed and brought shame upon our family. Oh, she's just a drama queen. She is also threatening to end her life, but asking me to reconsider my relationship. She is also blaming me for health issues that she's had for over 5 years. My boyfriend wasn't even a picture at the time. I feel incredibly guilty for how she's feeling, though. It's no fault of my own, and she has a history of making threats like this. I'm not sure what to do. Any advice on how to navigate this situation? Think, girls, snap out of this stupid state that you in. How you letting your mother run you like this? You know she's being manipulative and coercive, and you already know that, and trying to induce guilt so that you can do what she wants you to do. When she starts talking like that, say, Mom, you've been saying you're going to threaten me with doing that for 20 years, and you haven't done it yet. When? I mean, just be sure that all of your paperwork is in order, and that, I know what flowers to put at your funeral and stuff, the music you want played before you take that step. Just play along with her. Stop getting all in your feelings about this stuff. When she says, I'm going to, what she say, you brought shame to the family and all this stuff, just laugh in her face and say, well, at least I brought something. What did you bring? Nothing but a headache and a bunch of complaining. So, I think shame is a level up for our family. Something like that. I mean, just be smart, Alecky, and just talk shit back to her. Don't let her get in your head like this. And if you do like that, and show that it has absolutely no, her little machinations have absolutely no effect on you whatsoever, and you find it amusing that she's this old and throwing a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old, which you could also tell her, then she'll stop doing it because it won't work. But it's working because you see, here you are. Oh, I feel guilty, this and that. Guilt doesn't exist in my vocabulary. In my world, there's no guilt because I always do what the fuck I want to do. And if somebody's trying to get me to do something I don't want to do, I don't do it. And I just tell them I'm not going to do it. And so I never have to feel guilty about anything. I suggest that you start living that lifestyle because you can, before you start having kids and stuff, and they learn that they can induce guilt to get what they want of you. You're going to be run raggedy. You better get it together, chick. Start with your mother. Oh, these control freak ass parents always trying to guilt trip somebody. But yeah, that's what I'd be laughing at her. And she talking about she gonna S herself. I was like, well, what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? Should I set up a camera? Should I take a picture or a video? Maybe we can put it on YouTube. What you think? Are you gonna be dramatic? Are you gonna wear like a fancy dress? I mean, what you gonna take pills? What? How you gonna do this? I would just play along with her and make sure to have her sign. Well, I mean, hurry up and get this insurance policy on you then. So at least I get paid. When you go, I get paid. Stuff like that. Just say stupid shit to her. She just like have her going when you talk to her and like so she can see that you're not bothered. But she's bothering you and you showing it. It's just too much. It's ridiculous that you just old and letting her get away with that. Question number 12. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group. He's Black from South Carolina. Then he's writing about a female who's 27 and another one that's 52. Why would my mother have such a vendetta against my wife? From the beginning, my mom and my wife had a rocky relationship. We were caught having nook in my house by my mom at the age of 16. Well, whose parents didn't catch them doing something? She didn't like my wife since then, even though my wife apologized at the time. Throughout the years, my mom would badmouth my wife, calling her names to try to get me to cheat on her. What? She pretty much treated my wife like crap up until my wife got pregnant with her. And you let her do it? You let her do this. You did not cuss your mother out, shut her ass down, just put her on a timeout about how she talked to your wife. You didn't do nothing. You just let this situation keep happening. That's what you're writing and telling me. Do you know my respect level for you is now underground, sir? How are you going to let your raggedy ass mama treat your wife like that for years, you say? And then she going to do some stuff to try to get you to cheat on your wife, and you still associate with this bitch and you still call her your mother? You still have respect for her. I would have been so fucking done with her. There would be just no way. Say, you bitch, you could take my name off the Bible registry and I'm gonna cross your name off my birth certificate because I don't know you. We not related. Fuck you and leave me alone. Don't you ever darken my door, call my phone, nothing. That's what she would have got from me. Are you kidding me? Okay, so then the mother found out that the wife was pregnant, and she tried to try to be all happy about it. But your wife wanted an apology, and so the mother apologized to you, but not to your wife. I'm reading here. She was still badmouth my wife to the entire family, and my dad was enabling the behavior. My mom would cry to him about it, and he'd tell me how wrong it was. I was allowing my wife to treat my mother this way. My mother even went so far as to call herself a matriarch and said that that was the reason why she didn't have to apologize. My wife and my mother went no contact during her pregnancy, and when our daughter was born, all hell broke loose at the hospital too. So the wife got preeclampsia, and we didn't give my mom a call when we got to the hospital. And she called my whole family crying and saying that we were keeping her out of the loop. My dad called me screaming about how upset my mother was and that I needed to call her. This was as while we were at the hospital trying to bring my daughter into the world. My wife felt as if her entire pregnancy had been made about how my mother felt, and now so the birth of our daughter as well. So see all of this. Then your mother comes. I'm reading down here. The mother came to the house and gave a 3-month-old baby COVID. See, all in all, sir, you are a piss poor, sorry ass excuse for a husband. I don't know why your wife stayed with you. I would have left your fucking ass so far in the dust. You don't do nothing to shut your mother down. You just let your wife shoulder this burden and deal with this abuse from not just your mother, but your father. This whole family thing now, she calling everybody in the family, getting them upset with her lies. And you don't call on people to shut that shit down. And you had a nerve to write to me. I'm going to stick to the end because you wrote too fucking much. And see what the hell look at all this shit. So your grandfather, your sister, your grandfather took your mom's side, the whole family is against us. I ran into my aunt and she told me that I was a disappointment for treating my mother that way and that no chick should come before my mother. You know what you're supposed to tell your auntie? My wife comes before my mother because I can fuck my wife. I can't fuck my mama. That's daddy's job. That's what you're supposed to tell your auntie. So she would get a clear understanding of who you have in a priority position in your life. It ain't your mother. Although you seem to, but if I was to do, that's what I would have told my auntie real quick. She wouldn't have 5 seconds wouldn't have passed before her hair was blown back with that little factual statement right there. Okay, I'm kind of receiving negative feedback on the matter from my family, and I like input on this matter. I can't for the life of me figure out why my mother hates my wife so much that she'd rather not have anything to do with me or her grandchildren. Let me tell you why. It sounds to me like you're your mother's only son. You're a Southern family. Them black women, black women in the South, when they have a son, they lose their fucking minds. It's a rare one that can, let the son go. She has to really feel like the girl that he picked is stellar. Like, now I'll tell you some examples, and y'all just bear with me. I know it's stupid. Like, if the family is very dark skinned and the son pulls one of them light, bright chicks, like a Creole Cajun looking girl, they'll instantly approve her because of the colorism issue. And then those kids, because they have this, everybody's dark skinned in his family, right? So now these kids, like, that's what some reason they like to have, women of other races. So those children come out looking different. And I know it's stupid, and I know it's some nonsense from slavery, the quadroons, octoroons, all this old stuff like that. But, some people in the South still had that mentality. And so it carries on generation after generation amongst African Americans. And there's really not too much you can do with it. But what we do here on this show, we don't make excuses for shit. We just talk about it and try to figure out how to work around it to get what we want in life. That's what we do here. So I'm just saying it could be something like that. And you also have to figure that these mothers are very possessive of their sons. And I swear they get jealous of the girlfriends and the wives because the girlfriends and wives are fucking them, their sons, and they can't. And I know a lot of them like, that's not how I think, bitch. Yes, you do. Because you be looking at your son too hard. And you want to be rubbing on him and hugging on him and petting on him and kissing on him and stuff all the time. That's what his wife and girlfriend should be doing. He's a grown man now. You should have done all that when he was a toddler. Now he's in his 20s and 30s and you still want to be pawn on him? No, 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 no. Violation. So, with those things in mind, sir, that to me is why your mother is so angry at your wife. And when she went crazy when your wife got pregnant, because you know what had to happen for her to get pregnant, right? So there's the evidence of it. So, you can't seem to come with any other Bible solution or conclusion, rather. I just gave it to you. Saw it hundreds of times. It's just a very interesting and weird dynamic, but a lot of women have that about their sons, especially if it's the oldest son or the only son, or the son is their only child. Them three things is just a bad thing. If I met a woman, I'm dating a dude and he tells me that he's his mom's only son, I don't fuck with him. If he tells me that he's the only child and he's the son, I super don't fuck with him. That's a bad thing. I'm not doing that. Not to myself. Yeah, it is very much so, Diana, but you shouldn't have used that word. It's going to get beeped out. But yes, that is exactly what it is. Those kinds of thinking anyway. But yeah. Question number 13. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Los Angeles. He's Latino and a Pisces and writing about another male, 28 to 34 age group as well. Interesting. Summary of issues. Someone at my gym seems to want my attention. Should I give it to him? This sounds possibly very interesting. I recently joined a gym to start weightlifting and gain some muscle. I've never belonged to a gym before, so it's been a new experience for me. I go regularly about 4 days a week to continue working out in my own routine. Although I'm new to gym culture, I'm cognizant enough of etiquette so as to not appear creepy or attract attention to myself. I haven't engaged with others or socialized with anyone. I simply work out, mind my own business, and then I leave. But since I started going, I've noticed that there's this one regular, another guy who I assume has been a member longer than I have, and judging by his appearance, has a longer history of working out. He's usually there about the same time I'm there, and if I'm just arriving and he notices me, he'll gesture to greet me, so I'll gesture back. Nothing abnormal, so that kind of thing, huh? What's odd is that once I'm settled, he'll migrate from his area to my area and begin exercising beside me, and this continues as I roam the floor throughout my routine. Okay, so he knows your routine by now. You got a routine. Change that shit up. Several times he strolled past me in close proximity slowly while I'm in a machine, as if he expects me to acknowledge and talk to him or such. Once he even approached me from behind while I was at a machine in the midst of a lackluster exercise effort and shouting, "Yeah, man, great work. Keep it up." I just smirked and replied, "Thanks." Dude, you are such a noob. You don't know what's going on. Are you from LA? I'm surprised. But let's continue this story because I'm enjoying this. I was still new at this time, and on a more recent occurrence, he sat within mere feet of me the entire time I was performing multiple exercises in open space. He sat focused on his phone, so I just ignored him. But he had an entire gym floor to cool down on, less my square footage of personal space, which he shouldn't have been. Among other instances, I'm finding this behavior overall strange, but while I could put a stop to this quickly and sternly, I wonder if he's just looking to make a new friend, as I doubt he intends on actually being a creep. You are so brand new. This is cute that you know what I mean? I don't get to meet people from California that are this naive on a regular basis. He appears the same age and generation as me, and I've seen him chat with gym staff without causing ruckus or appearing arrogant, so he's likely a safe, sociable person. I don't want to be too problematic. I like my gym and I want to stay put there, but exercise in peace without others getting involved. In most other public environments, I'm far less hesitant to engage with strangers. Here, I'm unsure if I should entertain his antics at all and of what would be appropriate engagement at this point, as I don't want to sound rude or cross if his intentions are innocent. Should I bother saying something? What could I say to break some ice and find out what's this deal? Or should I just mind mine and keep ignoring him? Or should I go as far as saying something outright to stop this? I'm going to tell you, dude is what they call cruising you. He's gay and he's interested in you. He's trying to see if you're going to respond. And so far you're not, because you're so cute. You don't even know what the hell is going on. It's so adorable. So he's just giving you, he just flirting his ass off and just being in close proximity. All the things, the ways I tell women to flirt with guys, being in proximity so he can see you and stuff, but you don't say nothing. So he's there on his phone so you can see him and he can watch you and, do your little stretches and whatnot. You're doing little stretches on the little mat and everything. And so he's watching, he's checking out your bod and all the changes that you're going through and all stuff. And he's just having himself a good old time stalking you around the gym. So if you're uncomfortable with it, what you can do is change the time that you go to the gym. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, you could say, come in there with some headphones on, right? Come in there with headphones on. And then when he starts trying to talk to you, you just pull them down for a second and you say, I'm not going to really socialize much today or going forward because I'm changing my routine and I really want to concentrate on what I'm doing. But, I'll check you out later. Headphones back on. And then you go about doing your stuff. Now you have told him, you have put up a boundary and told him that, I'm doing my new routine. I'm trying to concentrate. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to be, bothered. And he should take the hint. Now, if he continues following you around and trying to talk to you and all this kind of stuff, then you would need to go and ask, get some insight from the fitness floor staff. Because, if you tell him to stop and he doesn't stop, that's basically sexual harassment. Well, it's harassment, but I know why he's doing it, which is sex oriented, but unless he touches you or actually says something, I don't think they can really charge him with a sex harassment thing, but that is his ultimate goal. So, we take that kind of stuff very seriously. Everybody has to feel comfortable in the space. We don't do Karens though. We don't do Karens. And one's that lady, she occupied the leg press. They only have 2 of them. The leg press machine for 45 minutes because I timed her. And between sets, she was watching videos on her phone for like 15 minutes. I politely went up to the gym. I said, I don't need to use that leg press. And she's been on for 45 minutes. They're like, what? I said, yeah, she over there watching videos. So the guy walked behind her so he could see what I was saying. He could see the videos play. She on YouTube just watching videos, laughing and shit, and just tying up this machine. She could at least got off and let somebody else work in. You know what I mean? She didn't even do that. So he taps her on the shoulder, tells her to get off the machine, and she's overstayed her welcome. And he said, nobody should be on this machine for more than 10 minutes. What are you doing? And so she's like, well, I still have 2 sets to go. He said, do them later. Get up. There's a line of people that need to use the machine, and you're going to let them use it right now. And this is a big old buff brother. So, she was a little funny looking white girl. She was not going to be arguing with him too long. She had her little glasses and trying to look all stern and stuff, but she got her little happy ass off that thing. I hopped on. I did my 3 sets right quick. And these 2 other guys got on and did their sets. So between the 3 of us, in less than 15 minutes, all 3 of us had done our sets. And she, sitting up there for 45 minutes. So, that long story is to tell you, the fitness staff is there to provide the muscle and the backup to the members. So if there's any situation where you don't feel comfortable, you don't know how to use a machine, someone's bothering you, someone says something inappropriate to you, someone touches you, in a way that is not an accident and you don't want them doing it, anything like that, you approach the fitness floor staff. They're usually found either wandering the floor or up at the front desk or maybe in one of the offices. Explain what the situation, what you need help is, and they'll be responsive to you. That's how we keep members. Because when people start complaining, especially online, man, your membership revenue will drop. So anyway, yeah, that's my suggestion. But that's what's going on, you little cute thing. You don't even know what's happening. Question number 14. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Nashville, Tennessee. The young man in question is 28 to 34 as well. Summary of the issue. I want to compromise with my partner about shared space and noise control. I live with my partner and our dog. We have a small 1-bedroom apartment and are tight on space. I am very sensitive to certain noises. 3 to 5 nights a week, my partner stays up after I go to bed playing video games with his friends from back home. I love that he's in touch with them in that way. It's great for him to unwind after work and socialize with his friends that we live far from. But I can't sleep because he's like typical boys. They talk loudly while gaming. Yes. I'm used to blasting music or white noise in my headphones anyways because of the outside noises, but I have to turn it way high when he plays. I ask him gently to keep it down, which he does, but even then the walls are so thin I can still hear everything. How do we figure out a solution so that he doesn't have to feel like he's walking on eggshells during his time with his friends, but I also don't lose sleep or wake up with my ears ringing from my headphones? Yes, we have a white noise machine, and no, it doesn't help. I didn't expect that it did. Well, one thing you can do is move to a 2-bedroom where they have the other bedroom is on the opposite side of the place, and he could be over there. And you could put some soundproofing stuff on the walls. They have soundproofing looking artwork or rugs or something up on the walls to help absorb the sound. And then he could be over there. Another option is he can go to a gaming center place thing where, people that don't have gaming consoles can play. Don't they have those? They used to. I don't know. Don't they still have those? And then the other thing you can do is just cuss him out and say, motherfucker, you need to do that shit on the weekend because I have to get up and go to work in the morning. So do you. And you making all this noise, I can't sleep. Either that or I'm going to move out. Now, which one do you want? I'll move out so I can get some fucking sleep. That's what he would have got from me. I don't care about your playing games. His playing games at night is impacting your rest, which means it's going to impact your money, which could possibly impact your life. Because if you're falling asleep behind the wheel or, drowsy and not paying strict attention, not as sharp as you should be because you're sleepy, then you could get in a car accident. It could be a bad situation. Either you or somebody else could lose their life because he want to stay up and play fucking video games. So when you live in a space like that, you don't get to do what you want to do. I had to explain that to my daughter. You don't get to do what you want to do. I want you to turn all that shit off by midnight. Because I have to get up in the morning and I don't want to be bothered with your gaming shit. When I'm not here, you can do whatever you want to. But if I'm in the house and I'm getting ready to go to bed and stuff, wind that shit down. I want to hear it. So yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, this poor child, you get sleep deprived. Oof, that's an awful feeling. So let's move on. Question number 20. I wish it was 20. It's number 15, female 22 to 27 from Austin, Texas. And the male in question is 35 to 42. Summary of issue. My boyfriend says he's not sure if we have enough chemistry, but he doesn't want to break up. Wait a minute. He said that to you? And you still call him, quote, my boyfriend? I'm seeking advice on a complex situation with my boyfriend. Girl, this is not complex at all. You just don't want to, you trying to act like you don't know what this means. After 3 years together, he's expressing uncertainty about our, quote, chemistry, but is hesitant to end things because he wants you to do it so he can go fuck around with the woman who he does have chemistry with. Or the man, you never know these days. That's what he's saying to you, dear. But let's see how you interpreted things. Our relationship generally thrives. We love each other. They always throw that in there. We love each other. We have shared interests and spend ample time together. However, every few months he becomes distant and irritable, raising concerns about the future. With what I've been reading about online about these men and they every couple of months dipping out there to sleep with a dude. This is just there's so many stories like that they just get this itch and they go sleep with a dude and then they be fine again. And then they get the itch and it's there every couple of months, just like she just saying. I mean, I can't say for sure that that's what it is, but I'm just saying I just was reading about that. I was telling you guys I was just reading about it, this phenomenon. And I mean, to the point, like dudes go on business trips and stuff, and then they will sleep with a man while they're away. And it's just, I don't know what to say. Okay. Every few months, he becomes distant and irritable, raising concerns about the future. Right. See, he wants something else. When questioned, he attributes this to a broader life crisis and fear of aging, but he also mentions he had doubt about our relationship's trajectory. These phrases last a few days to a week, followed by apologies and a complete return to normalcy for the next few months. Yeah, because he got his dick fixed. Recently, he admitted to having doubts about our chemistry. I was surprised and hurt by this. When I asked him what he meant, he said that he wishes I were more playful and less serious all the time. I suggested end it if he's unsure about things. And he said he understood if I want to break up. That's what he's trying to get you to do. However, when I started looking at apartments later that week, he changed his stance, expressing a fear of losing me and claiming that he was just self-sabotaging. He was in tears, and I've only seen him cry like one other time. Yeah, narcissists always cry. I'm torn because I love him, but his recurring uncertainty weighs on me. Our living situation complicates matters. We share a spacious 2-bedroom house that he owns, conveniently located close to both of our workplaces. I contribute significantly to his mortgage, but I still pay significantly less than I would to rent a place around here. If I moved out, it could be financially challenging for both of us. You stupid. You're trying to find an excuse to stay. Just like you paying on his 2-bedroom, you could do that with another woman, another dude. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just have a roommate. Okay, that's what it's called. He's now pleading for me to stay, but I'm uncertain about a future with someone facing repeated relationship doubts. Should I try and work things out with him and suggest he go to therapy, or should I just leave even though it will be extremely painful? Yeah, you're going to leave, but you're going to wait till he brings the dude up in the house and sleeps with him right in your face? Is that what you're going to do? Before you make a move? You want to be like completely disrespected and your face rubbed in it. Girl, find some self-esteem from somewhere. I don't Wherever you got to go to find it, pack your stuff and get the fuck out. Go rent a room somewhere. You don't need a whole house. Put your stuff in storage that you don't not gonna need. You only gonna be cooking for yourself. You need a crock pot, maybe a frying pan and a pan or a pot or something. But you're likely if you move into somebody's house, they're already gonna have stuff. Just bring your stuff that you need and put the rest of your stuff in storage so you get your own spot. It's not really hard and you don't need a lot. Just get a studio. It's just you. He's probably gonna have to keep the dog though, because you're not gonna have. Usually, it's hard to get unless it's a tiny dog, but you got to pay a whole bunch of deposit, because they pee and bite on everything and tear stuff up. Yeah, it's the timing of this DJ is just too. I don't know. It's just the regularity of it, and then now he wants her to be different. He wants her to be playful and not so serious and all this kind of stuff. The handwriting was on the wall when he mentioned it the first time. I'm not going to let some man tell me that his relationship with me is not, not, what did he say? Whatever he said it was, but, they don't have chemistry. You only have to tell me once. I already know what that means. You want to go fuck somebody else and you're not excited about fucking me. That's what that means. So you don't seem to get it. You don't seem to understand what that means. So you sticking around so he can say it to you again and again and again and again and again and again and just disrespect yourself. Whew. Question number 16, female, 20 to 34 from Riverside, California. Third issue, I need advice on how to let my drama friend down easy. So I had a friend and she's my drama friend. She loves playing the victim and she's insanely self-absorbed. I'm not going to get into all the crazy stuff she put me through, but I am beyond drained. I tried letting the friendship fizzle out, but she always finds her way back in somehow. She can be very manipulative and I can't help but feel bad for her. Why? I know it's my own fault. I let this go on for way too long and I'm beyond exhausted. She's already acting like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Our friendship is strictly platonic and always has been because of some new friends I met recently, so maybe she needs to be broken up with. I'd rather do it gently as I'm not looking to hurt her feelings, but I'm beginning to think that might not be an option, judging by my past attempts. Any advice on how I can get her out of my life? I'd be so grateful. I just want peace, and I'm so hurt and exhausted. Thank you. Yeah, you just tell her. I don't understand. See, we're back to the no webinar again. This is a no situation. She said when she wanted to be friends with you, you say no. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be friends with you because you exhaust me. Being around you is like drowning 24 hours a day and I have to keep myself afloat. I can't do anything positive and enriching for myself because all my energy is sucked out by you and your nonsense and your drama games and situations. Being friends with you was the worst decision I ever made in my life. I don't know how the fuck I let myself get mixed up with your ass, especially after I got free and then you came back and I let you come back and give me some more of this. I'm done now. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. And you take your drama and all your bullshit, go somewhere out of my life and don't ever come back. If you do come back, I'm going to call the police. I don't want anything to do with you. Now, see, this is how you do things. So it's definitive. It's clear. Everybody's on the same page. She knows what you feel. She knows why. So she can't go away having no questions about what happened because you told her. Now, see, but you want to do stuff because when you guys write in about this, you always want to express, you want to control the other person's feelings. You want to figure out a way to tell them something in a way that doesn't hurt their feelings. Fuck their feelings, because Deborah's personal opinion about it is your feelings obviously are hurt because that's why you wrote this letter. You're looking for some help because your feelings have been hurt over and over and over and over and over again for years by this woman. But suddenly you so concerned about her feelings. Why? Okay, I don't understand what you're doing. But that's my suggestion. Just like rip the Band-Aid off, rip the scab off, and just, let her have it. Question number 17. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from London area, it says. Summary of issue: my boyfriend and his ex. I'm seeing someone I used to work with for around 3 months. I know it's not long, and because we were friends before, our relationship seems deeper. We agreed to spend Christmas together. But my boyfriend has a child, and the child lives with the mother. He said they didn't work out. They get on well, and they are friendly. All seem very nice, except me and the child's mom have a mutual friend. Child's mom doesn't know about me yet. I caught up with our friend who said she saw the child's mom when they went out for drinks and she got tipsy. Somehow my boyfriend got brought up. Child's mom says, well, he keeps asking me if I'm going on date nights. Then apparently when she asked to speak to him about Christmas for their child, he said that he was nervous that the call meant she was telling him that she now has a boyfriend, and then joked she's like a drug. Oh. Now I feel uncomfortable with this, but I don't know if I'm being over the top. I've never gone out with someone with kids before. Uh-huh. Girl, okay. Ooh, Lord have mercy. You talking about his kid when this man has just admitted that this girl is like a drug to him. You put it in here, but then you just glossed over that. That's the most important part of this letter. You're dating a man who is fixated on some other woman. He can't get enough of her. That's what a drug, is, a dependency, addiction. He's trying to keep up with what she's doing. He's scared she's going to have a boyfriend. Because that would mean that his chances of getting back with her are nil. You don't understand what that means? The situation is you just serving as a placeholder until he can get back with a girlfriend. They didn't work out, but he's still trying, but they get on well enough and are friendly. He's hoping for, part 2. You just there to provide him with some companionship and some booty in the interim. So if you don't want to be used like a placeholder, I suggest you understand that and move on. Yeah, it's like that when you're the first love. But yeah, I mean, how you gonna let some man say some shit like that to you and you just on that confused and stay there? Ooh, question number 18. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group from Florida. Summary issue: am I too messed up for a relationship and love? Thank you for taking my letter. I am physically disabled, unemployed, often bedbound due to sickness. I can't cook. I can't clean in the manner that I wish I could. I'm fat. I'm very unattractive. I have some missing teeth. Is this a troll letter? My hair has been steadily falling out. I'm an introvert. I'm a homebody. I don't have friends. I don't have family, and I have very low to non-existent libido. I'm in my late 40s. I'm not inspirational. I'm not motivational. I'm not optimistic. I can be negative a lot. I have zero interest in hobbies. I'm not smart. I'm not a conversationalist. I haven't done much of anything in life or with my life. Therefore, I have problems relating and carrying out conversations. I don't have much to talk about. So due to a dysfunctional and toxic upbringing, I can be distant and sometimes cold. I don't have much in this way of social skills. I have depression and traumas often, etc. Knowing that I don't have anything to offer, is there any hope for a relationship for a nice person, or would it just never work out with anyone? I'm very lonely, and I don't want to spend the rest of my life alone. Some admittedly very lonely neighbor that I talk to via the internet sometimes asked me to be his girlfriend. He came right out and said that he's very lonely and wants a person to spend possibly the rest of his life with. He wants some nookie. He thinks that a person could be me because he considers me nice. Oh my God, man. The sharks can smell a lonely person like they smell blood in the water. If I were someone else with potential and could have options, he would not be my choice. I'm sure you wouldn't be his either. He speaks very little English, which is a turnoff. His lack of confidence, low self-esteem, and low standards and expectations for himself, willingness to settle, our loneliness, all are turnoffs. And if I were different, it would be deal breakers and red flags. But I'm not. I'm just irreparably broken me. Could this work out, or should I just give up on dating in any relationships? I'm tired of living my days with only the television to feel some of the silence. Is this a bad idea? Should I just accept the loneliness? Well, what you should do is you say you don't have any friends. Tell him that you're not going to be his girlfriend, but that you guys can be friends and visit with each other and have meals together and, talk on the phone or whatever and, play board games together and talk about books and stuff like that. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to let that man come into your life with his half English speaking self and be starting to talk about you, his girlfriend, so he can get some. That's what he's after. And you look like an easy target because you're so lonely and unattractive. That's what you're going to do. Then on Monday, since this is Friday night, you're going to reach out to your local social services office and you're going to go call the people that usually it's adult and aging because you're a disabled person. So it's going to, that disabled people are covered under that department. And you're going to call them and you're going to ask for some referrals. If they have a senior information and assistance line, that's the line that you would call. You just look on the website for your social services and they should have all the numbers that all the programs and all that kind of stuff. And then you start making phone calls and you're going to find out. Like, here in California, they have something called the friendship line. And people volunteer and they just call people who are like you, who are lonely. They call them once or twice a week or something and have like a little 30-minute conversation and they volunteer their time to do that. It has to be people I think who have a lot to talk about and they just love to talk because, they just love to talk. So they call up random strangers who on this friendship line and they have conversations and it seems to really help a lot of people who are like you and, don't really have much social contact. So start with social services, like I said, Department of Adult and Aging in your county and see what kind of resources are available to you for, that kind of stuff. Well, therapy, I'm not sure this person needs therapy. This person just needs somebody to talk to for starters. But when I tell you this, though, when you get around this individual that you're going to be friends with, that's your neighbor, you know what you're not going to do? Tell them all your business. You're not going to let them have any access to your bank accounts or your social security cards or your driver's license, no ID. You're going to put all that away somewhere. Lock it up. I don't trust people. So I'll be letting nobody come up in my house. They come in, you sit your ass right there and don't you move. You have me wandering around looking at stuff. Question number 20. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's African American from St. Louis, Missouri. The male in question is 35 to 42 and he's white. Oh, okay. Black woman with a white guy. Let's see what they talking about. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is abusive and I want to know, okay, if it will ever stop or do I just have to leave and there's no hope? Even if he went to therapy and got counseling, is there any way to salvage this relationship? No, 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 fuck no, hell no, all the nopes, all of it. Let's see what kind of bullshit you dealing with. I know this is so stupid to ask. Please be nice. I do not need tough love. I get that from my family already. No, you're going to get what I give you and you're going to like it. Because you know why you're going to get it? Because you wrote me. And if you wanted somebody to be nice and singing Kumbaya and holding your hand and patting you up, you shouldn't have wrote me. I don't do that shit. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to rip your, just for that, I'm going to give you an extra dose of ass ripping because you try to tell me what to fucking do. I already called the cops on him twice. Look at this shit, y'all. I called the cops on him twice for previous incidents where he didn't strangle me, but he did assault me. I dropped the first case. Okay, so you stupid. And this second one is still active. I have not dropped those charges, but I plan to. Then he strangled me last night, so I told him I wouldn't call the cops this time, but that I would be continuing with the pending court case and I wouldn't drop it. I didn't want him to have a felony for strangling me and completely ruin his life, even if he deserved it. Why? Man, I would be like, oh, let me ruin your life right quick and call 911 on your ass. The judge already issued him a no contact order and we weren't supposed to be talking, let alone in physical contact. Oh, I see. So you violating the order too. He just got a second DUI and lost his license for 18 months and has to have an interlock on his car for 3 years after he gets it back. Isn't that thing that you have to breathe in? It's like a breathalyzer so the engine won't start. I think that's what that interlock is. So I'm assuming he just took his anger out on me because of that. I think he's also an alcoholic, but he doesn't think so. Unfortunately, I love that man. Oh, notice how my perfectly timed yawn. How many times have we heard that for an excuse to be stupid? We've both been through so much together. We've both invested a lot of money into this relationship. I'm so conflicted. Oh, I need a violin wave sound file so I could play background music. He always apologized and said he doesn't know what's wrong with him, and he just has a demon inside of him that comes out sometimes. But he swears that he loves me. He is not violent and evil all the time. He's actually very sweet most of the time. I sort of see him as a little kid, and I do not want to hurt him, even though he hurts me. God, you're dumb. He still blames me for calling the cops at other time and tells me I'm a horrible person and the worst girlfriend he's ever had when I did nothing to him besides try to love him and fix his problem. I only called the cops once. The other time someone else called and I just told the police what he did. But again, sometimes he's remorseful, says it was all his fault. So I don't know. The mental gymnastics is crazy, but for some reason I still love him and I just can't stop because you don't want to. I don't want to lose him. I just want him to be better to me. I never thought in a million years that he would ever strangle me. I suppose I'm still in shock. Yes, and I think, by you being strangled, your brain cells, some of them must have died because this way you wrote this letter, you all over the place. And like you said, the mental gymnastics that you're doing to try to justify this, staying with this man and hoping and praying that he's going to be different. He done showed you 800 times that he's an asshole. Okay. And just because he's not an asshole 24/7 does not mean that he's not still an asshole. Because like I said in the top of the show, if men who have a propensity for violence will become violent when they are disagreed with or some tensions rise in a relationship. Men who do not have a tendency for violence will not become violent. They might cuss you out, like I said, yell and scream, throw shit, but they're not going to put their hands on you. So this is a guy who has no problem with putting his hands on you to the point where you had to call the cops on him a couple of times already. And he got a case already. And yet you want to stay. And yet you want me to be nice. Fuck nice. Let me just tell you about yourself. You stupid as hell. First of all, if you're going to be you a black woman, you're going to be dealing with a white guy, you're supposed to be a come up for you, not going down backwards into the dregs of society. You basically got yourself a white dusty. That's what you did. He's ashy, crusty, and dusty, and he's a white guy in America. To me, a white guy in America who is a failure wants to be. He has every fucking opportunity to rise up just on the fact that he's white in this country of racist pigs. All he has to do is go to school or something, put a suit on and he can get a nice job. But no, he want to fuck around and just be stupid. And you sitting up there thinking you're going to fix him. What the fuck are you? Barbara the mechanic? Barbara the builder? Supergirl? What special skills do you have that makes you think that you can fix a grown man? I want you to get your little narrow ass into some therapy real quick and figure out what it is missing in your life that you think wasting it on some trash like this is the thing that you need to be doing. The years that you spent with this man, you could have got a master's degree. Do you realize that? You spending time doing stupid shit you should have been spending that time doing something that was advantageous to yourself. This is about the dumbest shit ever that I could read. And that's what I'm going to tell you. That's why I said I'm going to just tell you about yourself. And I don't care if your feelings are hurt. And I don't care if you start crying. You need to cry. You need to wake the fuck up and get your shit together. Because, ain't it the truth? Because, honey, when you see the white dudes with a black woman, they be had these like executive level types and athletes and shit. They don't be getting no dregs of society black woman. They get somebody who's got degrees up the yin yang, who looks good, who's intelligent, got, class and style and polish when she walks around. She's beautiful and gracious and all this kind of stuff. They go for like the black queens. But then here go the black woman. She gonna go for some dusty motherfucker just because he's white. I don't even know what to say. I just don't even know what to say. So you still in shock, and I'm still in shock that you're so stupid. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's black from Toledo, Ohio. Summary issue: how do I deal with my mother's hurtful comments? For context, I'm not all that good looking. However, I've always been mistaken for a couple of years younger than my actual age and was enough to make me feel good about the fact that I will age well. Well, today, my mother told me that I look old. When she saw that my face was visibly troubled, she smiled and said, "Looks like I hit on your biggest insecurity." and then started laughing. Wow, what a bitch. I know this is wrong, but when she said I wanted to punch her in her face, yeah, I don't blame you. How to deal with my anger towards her. I live with her and I'm dealing with some depression and I'm not in a place where I can move out right now. She constantly tells me I'm a loser, deadbeat, useless, etc. I just want to be able to block the words. Well, all you have to do is, since it's your mother, but you're in a precarious situation, so I don't know. You'd have to make this judgment call. But see, if it were me, because I don't care about those kind of things, because like a cat, I'm always gonna land on my feet. But so she tells you that you look old, and she's like, well, I may look old, but you are old. And no matter what I look like, I'm still always gonna be whatever the number of years is between y'all. Just say 30 years. I'm always gonna be 30 years younger than you. You're an old lady. Pretty soon you're gonna be getting Social Security. And I hope the way that you act, you don't expect me to sit around taking care of you and changing your diapers and shit. That's just so not gonna happen. You're gonna be on your own since I'm so a loser, deadbeat, useless, etc. Remember those words when you crying in the nursing home for somebody to come and change your adult diaper. Because I'm not gonna be there since I'm so deadbeat, loser, and useless. Remind her of that. Put the fear of Jesus into her. Say, yeah, they're gonna be at the nursing home. They're gonna be calling, saying, your mama needs some more diapers. I'm saying, just sweep the poop off of the other ones and you reuse them. She'll be all right. I'm not spending no money on that bitch. They say, well, she keep falling out the bed. What you want me to do? I'm not gonna catch her. Just let her hit the floor. Put her mattress on the floor. She'll be all right. Stuff like that. Just say crazy shit to her and let her see that, it's not going to impact you. These kind of people, like I said before, these kind of people only do this kind of stuff. Like you notice that your face, you gave a reaction. They're looking for this reaction. They're trying to hurt you. What you have to do is look at the video I did called Control Your Emotions. Because if you control your emotion in a situation like this, you got her. So as soon as she's gonna start that, you just fire back. And I'm telling you, the main thing that you can stick to is her age, because it's not gonna change. It's gonna be forever, whatever that. If she had you at 25, it's gonna be 25 years younger than you. So what you gonna do, old lady? And then start talking about her age. Yeah. Yeah. Talk about put her in hospice, all kind of stuff. Just talk about all kind of stuff to her about how she's gonna be old and by herself. And remind her of these words choices. And that's people who are like that don't take care of their parents and they put them in a nursing home where they can get beaten and starved and have to lay in pissy adult diapers and stuff all day. Stuff like that. Just remind her what her future is looking like while she's so busy getting gleeful about throwing these punches at you. So you got to remind her what's on the horizon and how payback is a motherfucker. So I'm gonna wait till you old and you need me, and then I'm gonna say, you useless old lady, you just a deadbeat, a loser, and useless. Look at you laying up there in that bed, just useless as hell. And my dad used to say, useless as tits on a bull. Man, he used to say that shit that would just destroy me. Say, look at you being useless as tits on a bull. The shit was funny, but in that moment, I need to be doing something. I need to be better. So that was his way of, checking us. Question number 22. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Montreal, Canada. So the issue, should I ghost him or confront him? If you have to ask question, ghosting always wins in my book. I met this guy on a dating app about a year ago. We went on a couple of dates and we used to walk after the dates till sunrise, talking about everything and nothing. We had quite a lot of fun, to be honest. But the thing with him is he used to disappear from time to time, especially on the weekends. And we weren't serious yet, so I just figured that I was still seeing other people as well. But then, okay, I want you to understand there's no period or capitalization here. This is just using like hella commas. So I'm trying to break it up to make it make sense. I was still seeing other people as well, but then he started disappearing more often. He texts after a whole day or disappears during the weekends with his phone off, comma. I decided to end things, comma, and never talk to him again. Finally, a period. I blocked him and moved on. But a year passed by, he followed me again and started interacting with my stories on Instagram. We started talking, and then one night I was out with my friends. He asked where I was. I told him I was in this restaurant with friends, but he can join if he wanted to. He came after about an hour. We met and he started talking like before and like nothing happened. I explained the reason why I blocked him and we stayed that night till sunrise again. We talked about everything and he explained that he really likes me and that he is interested in dating me. And we kissed for the first time and then he dropped me off at home, texting me after wishing me a good night, and we kept texting the whole week. But we have different schedules. I work nights and he works during the day, so it was hard for us to meet during the week. We could only go out after 3 a.m. when I finished work or during the weekends. We met 2 times after that day and something was saying blah, blah, blah. But during the weekends, he started disappearing again. Every week he had a new excuse. Sound like he on a work release program. He got to go to jail on the weekends. Isn't that how they do it? You get locked up on the weekends and then you be on a work release during the day. When I asked him if he had plans for the weekends, I suggest we could do something later on that week. He would either ignore my message or answer a day or so after with an excuse. The last time he wanted to take this seriously, and I agreed. I like him as well. He's respectful, very nice and smart. We share a lot in common, but I explained that in order for me to feel a real connection, texting won't be the way. I wanted to meet him during the day, go on these spontaneous dates like we used to before. Even with our different schedules, I'm sure we can make it work and find time. But after that conversation, we started texting more, but then his phone was off almost the whole time. See, right? They take their phones, right? You can't make no phones when you in jail. You in the work, I mean, my intuition is telling me that that's what dude's story is. Okay, so we were texting Friday and then he didn't answer back. Okay. Now I don't know whether I should confront him and explain that this is not working. I just ghost him and go on. Blah, blah. Yeah, you weren't supposed to be like investing any emotion in that. See, I mean, he came back after he disrespected you and ghosted you. What did you start talking to him again for? And even invite him to where your friends were. So all of them could see you make this stupid mistake. Now you have witnesses to your ignorance. Girl, what is going on with your thinking? I just don't understand. Once he ghosted you and was like all flaky and stuff, that is when you dump him and you don't ever think about him again. If you see him out on the street, you see him at a party or something, you'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? Just general chit chat, head nod thing or something. And then you keep it moving. You don't go spending time and getting your hopes up and counting how many times he texted you and all this old stupid stuff here. You did too much with a man who obviously is not interested in you. I don't know what he's doing, playing around, but he got too much shit going on. Kim on say just run. I'm with you. Just leave him alone though, because he ain't the one. And you don't need to go, like making this announcement and confronting him and stuff. He ain't your man. So what you gonna be talking to him about it for? You sound like a fool. Confront him about something. If I was a dude and a woman I was just talking to like that, just playing around with, talking about she gonna confront me, I would cuss her bitch ass out. I bet you would put way too much into this. I ain't interested in your trifling stupid piece of shit ass. I'm just playing on the phone and just wasting up your time, and you let me. And now you want to be trying to confront somebody, bitch? Ain't nobody want you. You tripping. So that's what she would have got from me if I were a dude. So knowing that's probably what he's going to be thinking if he doesn't say it. You're not going to confront him because that ain't your man. You guys ain't in a relationship. There's nothing for you to confront. Question number 23. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from the Netherlands. The male is 18 to 21 as well. It's some issue. My parents kicked my boyfriend out over his behavior. How do I approach conflict resolution? My parents came to visit me in college for the first time in months. We were all going to stay at my aunt's house for a couple of days. I live in the Netherlands and my aunt lives in the UK, so I was planning on flying out there for a long weekend and spending time with everyone. My parents asked me to bring my boyfriend of almost 2 months along to meet them. That's a little soon. I thought it was too soon, but when I brought this up with him, he immediately agreed to come. I'm Indian, and so is the entirety of my family in the UK. My boyfriend is Dutch. Okay, I can tell this is going to be a problem with that family kicking him out. My aunt worked really hard to make traditional food, especially for me, since it has been months since I've been able to enjoy some. When I arrived with my boyfriend, things were fine. He was speaking to my family, and they were starting to warm up to him. At dinner, we were eating food that was generally meant to be eaten by hand. I kept cutlery ready for my boyfriend, but we were eating rotis and naan, which is hard to eat with cutlery. Yeah, that's true. He got mad that the cutlery was impractical, then mad that he had to eat with hands. I told him that he could roll it up and eat it like a wrap or something, but he insisted on leaving and getting some McDonald's. Okay, well, this intercultural relationship is over. After some arguing, I got mad and told him we could go later as I wanted to enjoy the food and meal with my parents. He kept demanding that I get up and go with him, and my dad and uncle got mad. They told him to leave, which my boyfriend replied with equal anger. He said he wouldn't have to eat with his hands like you people, and that is filthy, and we even think it's okay to do this. Wow. So he insulted your culture? I was very hurt by this and honestly dead tired. So I let my dad and uncle kick him out. Like, you could stop him. It's the uncle's house, right? You said your aunt, so that's her husband. Granted, we both live in the Netherlands, so he'd have nowhere to go in the UK, and he's very frugal with his money. Now he's messaging me to leave my aunt's house and come with him to stay at some random hostel he found, and wants me to pay for it since it's my fault that this happened, since I didn't arrange for different non-Indian food to be made for him. I don't know how to start tackling this issue, and any advice would be greatly appreciated. Just block him, because this relationship is over. You can never go undo the total disrespect to your family and your culture that this man did with his wild mouth. I mean, you got to see who he really is after your 2 months of dating. It's just over. Do you think your family is going to ever have any respect for you if you stay with a man that you sat there and he talked to them like that and said about your aunt's food after she spent all day cooking to try to please you? Do you even imagine that the things that he said don't apply to you people? Because that's part of your culture, right? So if you go to where he is, if you even talk to him again, you're stupid as hell. You block that motherfucker so he can't call you. And then you just leave him alone. You don't know him. You're not going to talk to him anymore. This shit here is over. And if you should run into him back in the Netherlands, you be sure to tell him that the way you disrespected my family, I have nothing to say to you. Don't you ever talk to me again. Leave me the fuck alone and just go on over there and eat your McDonald's and everything else that you want to eat, little Dutch boy. You know, he just rude as fuck. I mean, the main thing is, this is your chance to try some homemade Indian food. Man, I would have pushed my sleeves up, put my napkin up here. Like, here, I got a Kleenex. I put my napkin up to make sure I don't get no food on me. And went to work. Just glad. I love naan and rotis. I've been eating everything. They've been like, "Can we have some?" I'll be like, "No." So I don't know. I don't understand this guy. Question number 24. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from St. Paul, Minnesota. Summary of issue: I'm seeking advice about women at the gym. Is it appreciated when someone speaks up about guys who seem to be harassing them? I tend to stay to myself. We got a lot of gym questions the last couple of months. At the gym, powerlifting and such, I appreciate that people respect my space and boundaries. At my gym, there's a dude, 35 or 40, I guess, that frequently approaches multiple women during their workout and bends their ears about God knows what for minutes. I've observed him literally walk women from the gym to the front lockers to walking them out the door. I've also observed him putting his hand on a shoulder once. Oh, no. This seriously rubs me the wrong way. If somebody cornered me like that and ate up my time and boundaries on a regular basis, I'd be fuming. I've run this by my fiance a few times, and she says it's unfortunately the reality women face just about anywhere. She's a strong person, isn't afraid to speak her mind, but she finds it's usually a net negative and potentially dangerous to address individuals like this and has history to back it up. What can I do to help, if anything? It feels horrible to just pass a blind eye to it, but also I do not want to white knight or infantilize anybody. I have taken my fiance's word for it, but it icks me out, especially since nobody pesters me during my lift. Well, nobody's going to pester you because you're not a woman. It's one of the problems that we face. Like your girlfriend said, it starts when we're like 12 years old, and it never ends until well, even when you're old like me, the men that are older than you still want to pester you. So it just fucking never ends. But I'm going to say this. It's nice that you notice. That's wonderful. If you notice a woman's expression. If you see a woman and she looks nervous or like, something doesn't feel right, but you'll be able to tell by the expression in her face. Then you walk over to her and say, is everything okay? You don't address him, you talk to her. If you're not, if you okay, would you like me to do whatever? Whatever she's doing, work out with you. Just for a few minutes. Just say it. I'm not saying you have to do it. Just say it. just so you can walk her away from him. Now, what really, needs to happen at gyms, I think they need to start giving all the male members um, a handout that about proper behavior in the facility. I think if a gym came up with something like that and made it a part of their membership agreement for men, I mean, everybody could sign it. We don't have to be limited to men, but have it so that it's part of their membership agreement, spelling out what you will and will not do about the other women. And following women around like that is definitely over the top. Talking to women and stuff is one thing, but you're gonna be so following around, intimidating. See, that's the kind of shit that would get you cussed out at my gym. Because it's just full of black women and we ain't about that life. We just be like, fuck you, motherfucker. Get out of here. I'm trying to work out. Nobody got time to be breathing that funky air, smelling your funky underarm. Get away from me. Stuff like that. I don't know. That's about the best thing I can think of. So you're not talking to him because he's not really, I mean, if they don't feel threatened enough to go to the gym staff and get some assistance, there's really not too much for you to do. But you can, like I said, if a woman is looking nervous, and you'll know that expression because I'm sure you've seen it many times, you've been around women, then you just go to her. This is not white knighting. This is providing like a distraction. So you're like, hey, you doing okay? You need me to, work out with you, show you machine, walk you through your car, whatever. And if she says yes, then that means you did the right thing. If she says no, I'm okay, then you say, okay, just checking, and you walk away and go back to your workout. Now be ready if dude comes and he's like, well, why did you do that? You say, because you follow women around like a fucking loser and creeping everybody in the whole gym out. That's why I did it. And we'll continue to do it until you learn some sense. These women aren't here for you to be, this ain't your pickup lane dude. These people are here to pay their money to come here to work out. They're not here for your fucking entertainment. And so, just tell them. That's what I would do. Yeah, the DV, what am I trying to say? Detour of attention is a good method to use even on the street. Like if you see somebody, like a guy sees a woman being sexually harassed by a guy, he's following her or he's whatever, you just walk up to her and, you can say it in a low voice. Like, I see, you're looking nervous. That guy's following you. You okay? If she says, oh, she's all right, well, then you just back off, right? Or you speed up and walk past her. But if she's like, no, thank you, then you keep walking with her until you get her to her car. I mean, wherever she's trying to go, some office building or whatever, some police station, whatever she's trying to do, you walk with her and it provides a little layer of a little buffer between her and the creep until she can get away from him. It's especially important when you see older guys going after young girls because they don't really know what to do, like little teenagers. So even I have done that as a woman, walk up to the girls, say, I'm gonna walk with you because I see some shits afoot here, the bullshits afoot. And do you mind? No, they have never said no. So then I said, oh, what grade you in? What school you go to now? And try acting like I know them and stuff. How's your mother doing? That kind of stuff. And then so the person can hear, and then they usually back off. So it's something for everybody to keep in mind. That is a technique that's very non-threatening to the other, to the perpetrator, the whatever person, but it is a way to kind of slide in there and rescue the person who needs the assistance. But me, I'm always looking for somebody that I can tap with my stun gun anyway. So I just be hoping they get jiggy, so I could just go and pop them with that thing and see them go. I just been itching to do it. But alas, I haven't had the opportunity yet. And our last letter of this crazy show, and we're going to be right back here, hopefully on Wednesday, and Miss Thang can get her act together. Because she does it for, I give her some of the money that comes in, but I know I need to do more shows. The channel revenue really went way, super way down because I just have not been doing my shows like I should, but I need to get back to that. And but so essentially though, I can't really say too much since she spends hours every week doing this. Hours. So let's move on. Question number 25. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Latina from Stockton, California. The male in question is 35 to 42, and he's Black. Summary of issue. I am tired of my significant other's constant job hopping. In the past year, maybe less, this 40-year-old man has gotten and quit at least 6 jobs for whatever excuse he finds. What? He will be depressed because he isn't working. He looks for a job, gets one, and is super excited and wanting to work for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, he starts telling me that he wants to quit or will just quit and walk off the job without telling me. And then the cycle repeats. I honestly can't think of a job he has kept for longer than 2 months. Luckily, we are in a decent spot financially, but it's still worrisome to me. He finds every little excuse as a reason to quit. I've tried to get him to go back to school for a trade he might enjoy, but he didn't want to. I just feel so burnt out on him quitting everything he starts so soon after. I don't know what to do. How can I cope with this? Is my only option to leave? Well, no. Your other option is that he just stays home and continues to do this and you just support it. That's your other option. Would I recommend that option? Absolutely not. But it is another option. So either you continue as you are and just complain, or you leave and then you don't have to complain because you get with a man who knows how to keep a job and is a viable, provider. So you don't have to carry so much of the load all by yourself. Personally, I prefer that approach. I'm not trying to be involved in struggle love. And he's older than you. He's 35 to 40, so he's 40, and you in the 28 to 34 age group. So, he's at least 10 years older than you, right? I mean, I guess at least 6 years older than you. So, I mean, well, how is that even working? That you got a man this old and he doesn't want to hold a job and you're, footing the bill. And then this thing here, what you said, this drove me crazy. We are all right financially. He's not your husband. Why are you talking about we when it concerns your money? We have a job. You don't have a job. So to me, if you don't have a job and you living somewhere, that means the other people are supporting you. So that means you're already supporting this dust bucket. What did he do before you came into his life? Did he live off of some other woman or did he starve? Because whatever that was that he was doing before then, he gonna be back to doing that, and I would remind him of that because I'm fixing to leave. I'm fixing to leave. I'm not doing this. But you have you have a decision to make. Personally, I cannot recommend that you because whatever way he is at 40, he's not going to change. This is it. This is the best he got. This is his personality. This is his work ethic. This is the man that you're with. Okay, that is a wrap. So what are you going to do? You have to make that decision. I can't make it for you. I know what you're doing would not work for me. I can tell you that much. I'm not going to be supporting no 40-year-old man. And you want to quit a job, but what you going to do? You better pick up cans. You better do something to make some money because you're not going to be living off of me. But see, you haven't made that stance. So he feels like it's okay to just walk off the job just because he wants to. Because you feed him and put a roof over his head and put clothes on his back and make sure the lights stay on and you do all of that stuff. So he has the luxury of sitting on his behind watching TV for weeks and weeks until he decides he's too bored and goes and gets another job. So anyway, let me remind everybody, we have our webinar rather, coming up in a couple of weeks. We will be discussing some of the issues that we had today where women don't know how to put up a boundary and say no. They go along with so much bullshit. It's just ridiculous. And they want to call in it love and not understanding that they're being disrespected and used. It's just awful. Anyway, the event is on Friday, December 29th. It's only $19. You can register on the Debsterism.com website. That's where the information is. You can look at the show description page for this show and you'll see a link and a little more information. Just click that and you can register online for $19 by Cash App or PayPal, either one. And be ready on the 29th to learn about how you can keep yourself together and be stronger and better for yourself for next year. That's the whole purpose. So go into 2024 with a new you, okay? So you guys take care. If you're not a subscriber to the channel already, then please become one, because at some point I'm going to just do a pop-up. I'm thinking it's going to be this weekend because I'm going to be home. All right. So y'all be ready. Usually I'd like to do those on Sunday. Okay. My Sunday sermons. Because I have a couple of things I want to talk about. So y'all take care. I'll see you later.